but just recently, the mayor of Tulsa had this to say, finally, about justice for Greenwood.
I'm announcing that my office has been working alongside our legal department on the establishment of the Greenwood Trust, a private charitable trust that will raise and facilitate the investment of $105 million in private funds along our road to repair, restoration, and revival. Descendants of Greenwood victims at the center and our survivors, the trust will invest in affordable housing and home ownership by raising a $24 million fund of investment that's aligned to her, Christy, she's ready to go, and in alignment with the Beyond the Apology Commission recommendations. We will also invest in cultural and historic preservation by investing $60 million to preserve Greenwood's history through place-based projects, including our investment in surviving victims from the Massacre and other cultural landmarks. The trust will also be involved in economic development and education by establishing a $21 million endowment for educational scholarships, small business grants, no-interest loans, and continuing the work to bring closure to the families of the victims through our commitment to the Massacre investigation. We will be making these investments to restore the Greenwood District and Tulsa overall to the community we should have been.
So, Demario, I want to come to you because I know firsthand how hard you have been working on this announcement with the mayor. And I just want to ask you first, I know you got feelings, but I got to ask you first about Mother Randall and Mother Fletcher and how they feel about what was done, especially when you compare what you all asked for and have demanded for quite some time versus what you've actually gotten promises for at this point. How are they feeling? What are they saying?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I was just excited to be on to talk about this. We're feeling very good down here. This has been a lot of work, if you stated, and to have our mayor, and give shouts out to Mayor Monroe Nichols for stepping up to the plate, being bold and courageous. And that's what we need in a moment that we're living in today. The survivors are excited for the community. This is something that they've wanted to hear. They were both there, Mother Fletcher at 111, Mother Randall at 110, to hear that an actual city official say, yes, this was wrong and we want to do things to fix this. And we're still working with our mayor to talk about exactly what that's going to mean for them as individuals. And I'm happy to report that the mayor we're engaged in those discussions as we move forward. And one thing he stated, I don't know if you have it on the clip, this is just the beginning. The $105 million is just the beginning that we want to have in place by next year's 105th anniversary. And obviously our clients are those two clients are 110, 111. So we're not trying to make them wait a whole year. So we're still working through. But overall, they were excited and happy that this day, they got to see this day and hear with their own ears.
Jabari, I just want to first and foremost say thank you. Thank you for your tireless work because, again, there are so many heroes at this time that when you tell the story of America, they should be included. And I count you among them, my brother. You have been
thank you.
So dedicated to this movement. That's how we met. You and Angela have known each other for decades, but you and I met in 2021, I believe,
yes,
in Tulsa. And I was so fortunate to meet the survivors and rest in power to Uncle Red, who was also one of the survivors, the brother of Mother Fletcher, who unfortunately did not live to see this day. He passed away. And you're a descendant yourself. So I just am in awe of you. And this is just one case that you're working on. You have a lot of cases. You are on the front lines of a lot of civil rights battles. But what I love about you is you are a revolutionary, you're radical, and you love Black folks like you love yourself. And we just need more people like that. And he's an NLP listener because he will text me and Angela like, hey, on this episode, here are my thoughts. So it's just an honor to have you here. My quick question is, and you kind of answered a little bit, but I'm just curious, how long before Mother Fletcher and Mother Randall see dollars hit their accounts? And I ask this because they're 110 and 111, as you said. When they travel, they have an entire team of people who travel with them. They have an entire team of people who take care of them. Mother Fletcher she's still very astute, but she has her grandson and, caretakers, and those things cost money.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot, Tiffany, for that. And yes, I just want one clarification. I'm not actually a descendant. Mia is. My wife is a descendant. I'm a Black Creek descendant.
That's a whole other case.
Yeah, that's a whole other case. We're hoping it happens really quickly. Here's the thing, and this is why I'm so excited to come on this show, outside of me just loving you guys and loving the show, is the faster we can get money into the trust, the faster money can be dispersed out. And so right now, anybody that's listening can help contribute to this trust. That's why it was brilliant the way that it was set up, and it's something that we wanted to put forward with the mayor to open this up, not just to the city doing what's right, but inviting people from all around the nation. So as soon as we can get money into that trust, money can be dispersed. And that's what we're working on right now, because we definitely want them to get what their just due as soon as possible.
Yeah. DeMar, we don't know each other. A lot of people in common. My best friend, Chris Chestnut, growing up, after I saw you make your arguments in the state Supreme Court, which I thought you did a brilliant job. I watched from beginning to end, really hanging on y'all's words and on the words of those on the opposite table of you, to just hear what the logic was and what defense would exist for such a really remarkable, and I use that word not with any positive salutation, but remarkable devastation to a community. And I appreciated the mayor saying what could have been, right? Because that's the part that got interrupted. We don't know how many descendant millionaires there could have been coming out of Tulsa that got truncated. We don't know what those descendants could have gone on to do and become in this country and the world, because all of that got truncated. And that's the real, to me, harm of what has happened here is the fact that so much opportunity, future opportunity, unknown opportunity, was extinguished in that horrible tragedy as well. I want to hear from you, just having listened to those arguments made by the government, the Chamber of Commerce, all those other folks, what it meant to you personally to hear the mayor, the first Black mayor of Tulsa, if I'm not mistaken, to get up and with the voice of not just an individual, but the power of the government behind him, make the comments that he made. Was there a feeling of deeper level appreciation that we might not be getting on the surface, that it might mean to you and to the survivors and the other descendants of the survivors, to have the government bring this thing full circle in some ways?
Yes, we've been working towards that for such a long time. And this is the first time that we're not been actually fighting the government. And so that meant a lot. I must admit, I'm 25 plus years into this, and hearing those words, I felt like a big boulder has just been removed from my shoulders. Still understanding there's a lot of work to do moving forward, but to know that we have at least a willing partner at the city of Tulsa. And again, we're gonna have to go through a lot. We gotta get this thing set up, make sure we have the right advisors, make sure it happens the way it needs to happen. But man, I just feel like the vindication for all of the survivors and descendants who started, first of all, just for people who don't know, there are over 11,000 people that suffered the massacre. There's over 3,000 people that were disappeared, never to be seen from again. And people started fighting and trying to get justice days, even during the massacre. We were fighting so it not to happen. And so it vindicates all those people I've worked with, Professor Charles Ogletree, Dr. John Hope Franklin, Attorney B.C. Franklin, Representative Maxine, Don Ross, Senator Maxine Horner, so many people that have gotten to get to this point. I mean, I was really working hard to hold back my tears.
I bet.
Because it was just such validation that this work mattered. One of my cousins who is a descendant, and also been in this work for a long time. He said, man, I just feel like someone gave my life back over the last 25 years. It wasn't all in vain. And I think that's how we all feel. And this is a victory. And particularly for it to happen in this time period that we're living in MAGA 2.0, where anything black is criminalized and they're coming at us very, very aggressively. To see a black mayor stand up and say, I'm gonna do what's right. I would encourage anyone to go and look at Mayor Nichols' actual speech. I think it's one of the best speeches I ever heard. And one of his lines is, why should we do this 104 years later? He says, simply because it's the right and decent thing to do. And that's such a powerful statement in this time period where we're living and seeing so many things that are not decent and it's unrighteous, that if we can just stand on the side of righteousness and decency, I think we can make it out this terrible, terrible time.
Native Land Pod is a production of iHeart Radio in partnership with Reason Choice Media. For more podcasts from iHeart Radio, visit the iHeart Radio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.